Welcome to Be Your Own Motivation, your podcast about fitness, health, and lifestyle. Welcome back to the podcast Be Your Own Motivation. Today, sadly, I'm alone as the host because my partner Kirsty couldn't make it due to work. But we have a very special guest again, and we welcome Yancy Culp. So the people maybe know his name, should know his name, usually as the main face of Dakar and always like a super motivated person, always full of energy, 120% you will always get from him. But today we will dive a little bit deeper in who is he really? So who is the person Yancy Culp apart from the brands Spartan and Dakar? And so welcome to the show, Yancy.
Tanya, thank you so much for having me. I'm just feel like I'm still a couple weeks separated from watching you up on that podium multiple times at World Championships, and it's been so fun. I love when we get the Europeans coming over because I get to see as DECA is growing, I get to see you on the podiums, and I would call you're in that DECA cyborg category that we love. And just thank you so much for all your support over the past 5, 6 years for all things DECA.
Yeah, you're welcome. I just love the competition because it's so accessible. So it's really a thing I loved from the first time I saw it because it's just you can do the most movements just in your normal gym. Like you have the most equipment for it and you can just give it a try and it's just basic movements you should be able to do at actually every age.
Yeah.
So yeah, I really just love the idea behind and also that it's accessible even if you're not a runner, you can just do the strong version. So I always love that you have the different versions, whatever fits to you at the moment you enter. You
Hmm.
can just give it a try without even training super hard for it. And if
Yep.
there is a movement you can't do yet, you just have the possibility to improve and to be able to do it. Like the most common thing, for example, is usually for older people, like I saw it with my dad, is like probably a step over. It's sometimes a little bit of struggle, but then usually people who did already like some sports in their life, they are like, oh, I must be able to do this. So they try and then they improve. And that's like the greatest
Yeah.
thing about it. Yeah. So, yeah. All right. So, tell us a little bit about how did your fitness journey started? Have you always done sport your whole life from childhood? Have you had like probably been in a team or did you single sport? Yeah, just
Yeah,
let us know.
I was very lucky, and it's why I think I have a compassionate heart as a coach and trainer for 30 plus years because I know that I would say the largest percentage of people in the world don't have the upbringing that I had growing up on a farm, surrounded by parents that pushed fitness. A lot of that was natural working on a farm, but pushed me into sport, trained with me. My dad was a great runner, would run with me. I always tell this story that makes me tear up almost every time I tell it. We lived on a lot of property and we would run the perimeter of our property. You had horses and cows and the whole farm thing. And when I was young, we had this 20-acre patch of property where it was almost a perfect square. And early on, when I was a little bitty guy, my my dad I would round the corners to make it kind of an oval, and my dad would go to the corner, so we would stay together because he was faster than me. And then we had a couple years where we were the same pace.
Yeah.
And this is where I kind of always tear up is like I got faster. I was a really good high school runner, and my dad had to start rounding the corners. But it was this long evolution of us being able to stay together. But they were at every sporting event I ever did. And there was just so much support. So it was very normal to me. It's like this is
Okay.
just what you do. You train, you get better, team sports, individual sports, just do it all. And so much appreciation. for taking care of your body. And everybody was fit in the family. Um, Middle school sports, high school sports. I was very lucky to get a college track scholarship. Um, Spent 4 years in the military. Really, I think the military is where I fell in love with realizing that I could possibly coach. I was really fit when I went in, and in the U.S. military, probably the same as Luxembourg or any place else. You have to stay fit. You have to pass a fitness
Yeah.
test,
Yeah.
and so every 6 months we would have people that couldn't pass the test. So I kind of got put in charge as the athletic petty officer, getting people ready for the push-ups, the setups, the run, and all the things. And I was like, well, I kind of enjoyed that. Um, got out of the military. Was doing managing. I got in the management world, corporate level management. But I got my first personal training job really young 20s. No, I think I was 24 when I got my first personal training job at the YMCA in San Diego. And
Okay.
I'm making peanuts, making almost nothing, but I loved it. Oh my God. I loved being in the gym, coaching people up, helping people. So I was moonlighting in fitness and stayed in the corporate world for a long time. Opened my own fitness business, several fitness businesses, coached probably 6,000 group exercise classes over the years, lots of personal training sessions, but I found I really loved large group fitness where I got to be loud and be energetic and just like fist bump and love and high five everybody and just bring energy. Um, and then, well, hello, my friend.
Hi, hi
Now she,
guys.
now she's still in, no, she's coming.
Well,
I
I
was
was
Sorry,
like,
late.
there was crazy traffic. It's raining. People are driving like crazy over here. Anyway, sorry. Carry on.
I
Hello.
love it. Not very
Okay.
often do you get like you get a special guest. Just I feel like you're the guest joining us. Love it. But yeah, I just found that I loved coaching fitness. I loved taking care of what I called our beautiful machine, our temple, our body, and I love just trying to crack that code of getting convincing people that you it's going to go by really fast. You're going to wake up 50, 60, 70 years old and you're going to find yourself saying no to things that you should be able to do. I'm now 53 and I'm as fit as I've ever been. And if the kids say, let's go to a ski vacation or go hike the canyon or the mountains, the answer is always going to be yes. And you're going to have to try to keep up with mom and I because we're fit. So, yeah, I want people when they get into their adult life, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, saying yes to everything. So I felt like I had a knack for pulling people in and appreciating the value of taking care of their beautiful machine, even if they didn't think their machine was very beautiful at the time. Just having them really respect, talking about I a long time ago I'll say I coined it. I probably didn't coin it, but I look at the most important sport is the sport of life. That's what you're all. If somebody comes into my fitness class or walks up to a deck of start line, it's I'm not an athlete. It's like, yes, you are. We're always training for the most important sport, the sport of life. That's being able to say yes to the active vacations, doing the type of work you want to do, protecting yourself or your family if you need to, just being able to say yes to everything. That's the ultimate sport. So yes, we're all athletes. 100% of the world is an athlete that needs to be training for that sport of life. So yeah, your question was, how did I get into the fitness realm? I just fell in love with it. I realized that it's not for everybody. I think most people, if you don't like passionately love serving people, it's not an industry for you. You're gonna struggle if as a not necessarily a gym owner. A gym owner can be a business mindseted person, but they
Yeah.
need great coaches and trainers. If they don't, they're all gonna die. It's gonna sink. But to be an actual coach running a class or having a phone call with a member or a face-to-face conversation, personal training, small group, large group, if you don't have that passion, kind of that teacher nurse service mindset, you're not going to make it in this industry. And I just luckily found something that I loved and have been able to kind of parlay it into other career paths. of dealing with the world's most powerful drug, fitness, movement, exercise, the power of the start line. We've all seen it change and save lives, and that's why we love it. We do so much. I love saying that because it's, every coach and trainer I ever say that to, they're like, they get it. They understand exactly what we're saying when we say that. So
Yeah, I think you're totally right about like the job of whether it's like teaching classes or personal trainer. Because for me, for example, I haven't done that in my life. I mean, I had like 10 years no sport in my life. So I've been, so my first education was engineering, so totally different thing. And I switched to this due to health trouble, to diseases, and because I want to help other people that they wouldn't suffer for health stuff like I had because I didn't do sport. I got those health things I had to battle with, and so like a lot of people like me who are switching into this job are really doing it because they want to help people to get better, to get healthier and fitter. And you see also the other part, like when people just like, oh, I don't know what to do, so I just get like teacher, right? Like sports teacher or whatever. But they often don't have the passion, and they just do it like for whatever money, for having a job. And you straight when you go into a gym, like a person like me, I'm going into the gym and I just feel like this trainer he's there, he's existing, but this trainer
hmm
there probably have less degrees, but he has so much more passion about it. And that it's a job where it makes really a huge difference of if you're right on the place or not. I mean, if you're an engineer and you're not so passionate about versus another one, it still makes a difference, but
yeah,
it's not as hard as in this job where you work with people all day. Like engineer is more like you work on the paper, on the tablet, on the laptop, whatever, with numbers, but not so much. Still with people, but not in this degree. So not to help people. And every job where you help or you're supposed to help people, you should have the passion, definitely. Yeah, I
you
totally
you
agree.
nailed it. Anytime you're in a leadership role, I think this is a
Yeah,
non-debatable. And when we're coaching a class, we are leading that class. Leaders fall into that 80-20 category. The 20% category for us coaches, yeah, we need to be able to teach somebody how to squat properly, of course. But 80% of that, it's just like if you're the general manager or the head coach, it's like the soft skills of being able to capture them and like light them up and like, whoa, I'm enjoying being here. This is like, that was amazing. That felt great. Yeah, it was hard. As a general manager, it's like, yeah, work was hard today, but I like getting out of my car and walking into work today or walking into class today. That's you nailed it. As an engineer, we need to be able to dive into like we maybe need like 4 hours on the laptop designing things and working things or like a CPA. I I I have so much respect for that. I just couldn't do it. It's like that my brain doesn't work that way. Like I need to be like
yeah,
so it just works. It's not for all. We all have our little niche thing that we can do. So, but
yeah,
yeah, that 80-20 rule is so important if you're leading people. You
yeah,
gotta the soft skills are so important.
yeah,
And on
true.
the flip side to this, just as a so obviously I'm not a personal trainer. I'll come at it from the user side of the things. The passion like that you guys have, you Yancy especially. One story that I always tell and that I always remember, I've told it on the Rocks Coach Marshy's podcast, and I think I've told it on this podcast before, is when I was out for the first ultra in Fort Wayne, and you were in the middle of the racetrack, high-fiving us, fist bumping us, and I always remember that because I remember thinking as I was running around, where else does the guy who like created this is in the
Yeah,
middle of the course, like cheering everybody on. And it's the same at Worlds, you're out there, you're out on course, you're high-fiving people. And that energy is so powerful, to everybody from the elites, to the kids, to the teams. Like that energy is so powerful. And, you can really see that you have so much genuine passion and love watching like every category race. And I just think it's
Hmm
it's amazing as a user of that product, to see how much passion you guys have and the team and Robin and everyone's out having the best time. And yeah, I love it. I just think it's amazing.
Well, I appreciate that, and it really said when you look at a team, there's people behind the scenes that are just as good or better at what they do than I am what I do. So everybody has their little part. You take Nelson, for example. He's just a cyborg in that world of helping us stay organized on the tech side and doing this and doing that. And then you got Emily over in Europe, and you've got Fran and Rob and doing social, and you've
Yeah,
got Grant, and you've got people selling the affiliate program, and you got people at corporate
yeah,
managing the budgets, in Emily doing that, and like Brian doing that, and like there's so much, and we all have our different strengths and weaknesses, but whatever you're doing, like walk into the days like I
yeah,
cannot wait to attack what I love doing today.
yeah,
And I do love what I do. And some of that is like, people is like, Yancey, you just got so much energy. Let me tell you something. And I know I speak for everybody out there that's like, well, he's got great energy, or she's got great energy, or she's good at what she does. There are days we have to wait a second. Don't roll out of bed without saying, I'm ready to bring it. I'm not really feeling it today, but I have to bring it.
yeah,
That's a choice. And
yeah,
it's going to be a roller coaster ride sometimes. So for everybody out there listening, whatever it is you're doing, I know it's not always going to be like just sunshine and rainbows, but just tell yourself before you step into the room or the meeting or roll out of bed, it's like, I got to freaking bring it today.
yeah,
And that's
yeah,
every decafit I'm going to bring it. I promise you, there's times when I was like, I wasn't as fired up and ready to bring it, but I in a beautiful way, I was like, I made myself do that because
yeah,
I owe that to people. We all owe it to the people we serve. And no matter what you do, your career, you're in the service industry. You're serving people in some form or fashion. Somebody's going to benefit in some way by what you're doing. Um, so yeah, don't let yourself have that negative day.
yeah,
I coach it as the platform A, B, and C. I have the wonderful opportunity to travel the country, do and get Burley camps with my great friend Michael Karen, and sometimes Mark Jones. And
yeah,
one of the first things we cover is non-debatable of platform A, B, or C. Platform A, you bring good energy, you're positive, people like having you on the team or in the room. Platform B is mediocrity, and platform C is you're kind of a pain in the ass. You bring negative energy. It's just people don't like when you walk into the room. The non-debatable there is everybody on planet Earth spends most of their time on one of those three platforms every day. That's how it is. And I gotta try to be on A. And I'll fall off of it sometimes, but I was like, climb back up that ladder, get your ass back on A.
yeah.
Yeah,
I
I
like that
just
actually. That's good.
yeah yeah I just uh before I lose my thought. So yeah, I mean I have like a lot of challenges and a lot of bad days and a lot of like I have no energy anymore. And every time when I stepped into the classroom and I teach a class, so I was just like before I went open the door of the gym, I was just hosting a class. I had to shake it all off and just be the person giving the energy. But on
Hmm.
the other side, at some point when I was suffering now a long time from long COVID, and I was really, really not myself in a good place, in a good health, it is also at some point taking energy, and I got to suffer that version as well. So it is a job you have to send the energy all the time, and usually for me that was the greatest thing. But it can also like at some point because you always like on that, okay, it's my job, I have to give the energy, so you so on that, so you send yourself back, and then you're losing the energy for yourself. So I also face that version. So that would be my question. Have you had ever been in that position that you found yourself like, I'm exhausted, I have no energy for myself right now?
Hmm. It's very hard for me to admit that in the moment, accept that in the moment.
Yeah.
Very hard-headed when it comes to that, but probably because of what I do for a living, trying to serve people with fitness. But I think I'm very lucky to have a very small group. When I say small group, the number one person there being my wife that I can be, and my parents, just being able to be really raw and honest. Um, like when I was dealing with my cancer journey, it was very challenging for me because I wanted to show that I was strong and resilient to anybody following me, and had a little social media presence there. So I would keep in contact, and you want to full steam ahead. Um, but behind the scenes, you were just a shell of yourself. So I think it's very. I can't speak for everybody because I know there are people out there that are struggling, having a mighty struggle right now, and they do not have somebody that they can go to and be very real with. I've never been in that situation. I can't imagine being in that situation. I always, it's like if anybody watching or listening, if you're in that situation, reach out. I'll do my best.
Mhm.
I've been through a decent amount of challenges. Um, I think we get ourselves in a, you know, you always hear if we're just going to be really kick things around here today. Let's dive in. They say the suicide rate, for example, is way higher with people that find what the world would consider success
Mm.
financially, or you're like a high profile whatever, you're like a musician. You see it all the time with musicians and and,
Yeah.
and other high profile things where it's like millions of
Mm.
people, oh, I love him, but you hear all the time they're struggling
Yeah.
behind the
Yeah.
scenes.
Yeah.
um Everybody struggles, and it's not about, so you know I've always been I was raised by parents that it was never a big, maybe to a fault, but it was never about chasing the almighty dollar, chasing success. Like, it was always about enjoy life, enjoy today. Today may be your last day. I can hear my parents saying that, especially my dad. He's the most positive person on planet Earth. It's to a fault sometimes, literally to a fault. Um, but it's part of my DNA. But because of that, but yeah, I've definitely, nothing terrible, but I've been on that roller coaster, and there's days that I struggle. First couple days after break, I was like, I don't know if I'm going to be able to find the old Yancy energy, but I started plugging myself into calls, started a new fitness journey. I'm doing deck of fire 300 every day, every single day. I got to do deck of fire. Oh my, I was so stressful I don't know if you've seen my post the last couple days. I was so
Yeah.
freaking stressed out about that because that's a massive commitment.
Yeah.
I may be in a hotel room having to do it somewhere. Today I did it with my ruck on, but it's like I've always learned that if I want to hold myself accountable, you need to tell people,
Yeah.
your wife, your neighbor. The great thing about social media is I can tell a couple hundred people pretty quick. It's like I've even had people messaging me saying, I'm doing it with you. I'm doing it with you, Yancy. And so we can hold each other accountable. But um, I don't know what that was a rabbit hole. What was your question? I just went down something and got on. Let's We talked about this before. We both have, I've got the ADD, so you know, hopefully this can be a long podcast because that won't be the last time I go down some rabbit hole and forget what the whole question was.
Same. Kirsty, that's your job.
Yeah. Oh, I love it.
You're in this trust, Kirsty. You're the only one non ADHD person here.
Yeah.
So,
Hey, I'm pretty freaking impressed. The fact that you got your engineering degree, that's a
yeah,
tough one with
yeah,
the
yeah,
attention deficit from us. I don't think
yeah.
I could have ever pulled that off. If I sit in front of a laptop or a book
It was
at
terrible.
like 12 minutes in, I'm like, I got to break this up. This
Yeah,
is driving me crazy. You see all these books behind me?
yeah,
I've
yeah,
I've read about a quarter of all of them.
yeah,
I'm
yeah.
that guy that reads a couple chapters like, oh, I got this. I know
Same.
exactly what this book's about. I'm ready to go. I'm ready to go talk in front of a million people about this book that I've only read 30 pages on.
Yeah. No. Well, to answer that, yeah, it was no fun at all. I hated school. I completely hated school. But from the beginning on, it was super hard for me. So I never knew any different. I I understood that it was harder for me than for for nearly everybody I knew, for all of my friends. But it was just like, okay, for me it is hard, so I have to do it. Like, and I thought a lot about why I can often race better than my fitness is. And I think that's just because I always had to do it hard. I always had to do the hard version of life in school, in study, in whatever. And I was sitting in school, I didn't hurt anything. I was just there. I was existing on my chair, moving around on my chair. And you could ask me after the class, what have you done? I knew the first 5 minutes, and the rest I have no idea. And that was like 23 years in school and study. That was just me. So I learned everything on my own at home. So I had, you know, to
Yeah.
really work really hard, and especially for bachelor degree, as you say, like it's like engineering is no joke. It is really hard, and yeah,
Well,
and
for
it
everybody out
was,
there that struggles,
you
everybody
know,
out there struggling with what we're talking about,
yeah,
I'm a massive fan of how now it's, we're kind of being coached to embrace, and I was very lucky to have parents. It's like, you're going to be fine. You're going to find your path.
yeah,
We don't need to go changing anything. Just like find your path. And fitness was the military was great. Fitness was great. I just got to go. I have to do something that I'm going fast and like lots of changes and changing this, redirecting and moving and shaking. And fitness is good for me with that. I mean, I'm never the guy. I stay away from being the one, like, it's like ultimately in charge of keeping us really organized.
yeah,
That's a we you Deca would sink overnight if I was that guy. And there was times when I kind of had to be that guy. It's like, no, we need help. And you get people, I brag on the team, over in the European side, Emily and Grant, for example, and Fran. It's like helps so much with like let's look out and try to get the future planned. We have people over here doing that, and like, I'll jump up I'll get the mic and scream all things Deca and bring some energy.
yeah,
But you all find your place.
yeah,
Like in the corporate world, I was running operations with a lot of pieces moving, and I love. To me, that's child's play. Where some people's brain would freak out, maybe an engineer's brain or something. But it's like, no, like I don't. You don't want me spending a lot of time telling you about exactly what's going on with each one of those operations, but I got no problem juggling them all, helping
yeah,
us move the pieces around. We all find our place. Everybody has a beautiful brain, and they work different for some people. And I love the melting pot of getting a lot of great teams, great organizations. From the chin up, you do have kind of a melting pot, a hodgepodge of greatness. And as long as you have, as long as you have a leader that understands and respects that, I give a lot of respect for Joe. Joe's absolutely has our brain, Tanya. You trust me. That fire ready aim brain, it's all over the place. Everybody talk about 17 things in 5 minutes, and but it's like he has so much respect for the people that bring structure, and he
yeah,
like always it's like, what do you think? What do you think? What do you think? What are your ideas? What are your ideas? I think that plays a massive role why we've had a level of success. There's a lot of really smart, organized people under Joe, and he's such a great ideas guy. But you don't always see that. You don't always have the leader that has massive respect for the people helping run the show, and we're all failing forward.
yeah. Yeah, I
Yeah.
feel I mean I have been like since I've not been diagnosed so long, so I've been reading a lot, trying to understand and so on. And I think also all the people I know who have like, to be real and fair, like in my childhood, that was not a thing at all. And if somebody would be diagnosed, it was always boys. It was never a girl. Never ever a girl would be diagnosed with it.
Hmm.
Like that's now the last 5 years. I feel it's changing a little bit. That people understand that also some girls have it and some women have it, and
Hmm.
more than we think. And I think the biggest gift you probably also had, like a lot of my friends, I understood now that they have ADHD, is that you did sport. Because I think that regulates so much in the emotion part. Because I realize it myself. It makes so much. If I can't do sport, I find myself at a not good place. You know, my thoughts are just, I can't clear up my thoughts. I can't not get them anywhere in line at all. And if I do a lot of sports, it helps me. It's not perfect, but it helps me. But I'm like, you know, sometimes I feel like I have like super a lot like days I have like super much ideas. They are really good, and then
Hmm.
I would need a person take them all, put them in the right place that I can go forward with them. So
Yeah.
it's kind of that. Yeah, I thought a lot about that. Like it's sometimes you would need someone to your side and takes like, oh yeah, those ideas are great. We put them here and then we can work on it. But
Yeah.
because before I can work on it, I had another idea already and I lose the other one. So
Oh,
it's
I'll
yeah,
forget. I'll have 7 ideas a
yeah,
day that I think are amazing.
yeah.
At the end of the in the at the evening, I'm like, I don't even remember two of those.
Yeah, and
And I
that's
was like,
so
wait a second,
bad.
that could have been the one that was the next Deca. And I'm like,
Yeah,
I don't even remember what the freaking idea was that I had. It
yeah, yeah.
happens.
It's so
I
bad.
get, Emily calls me the Texas tornado, and it's very good term. And other people, it's kind of taken off. It's like, yeah, that's. But I think the beautiful part about that is, working with people that respect that, and me. Thank you so much for taking this wild, crazy idea and saying, "Well, listen, Yancy, we got to freaking do this, this, and this for that could even be a thought."
Yeah,
You bonehead. I need that in my life, and I have that, and I from the family side and the work side, and I love it all. It all works together. I love. There's nothing more. If you're like, what fills my love tank the most is I love communicating with people, being around people. The only time I will ever fade away and just be a shell of myself is if I ever had to be put in a situation where I didn't get to connect with people. Like, a lot of you'll see an ad on social like, what would you pay to be able to go away and live in this cabin for a year all by yourself and just have peace? I'm like, that sounds terrible to me. I don't want to do that.
yeah.
Yeah.
I think we get crazy in our thoughts then. Like yeah, it's like yeah,
Yeah.
it's too much. So going back to what you mentioned very shortly, so you had like I would say a little, not a little, but a big part where you had like struggle with health with your cancer. Would you like to tell us a little bit about what it was and how it went and how you could deal with it?
Yeah, I had back in 2016 and 17, I dealt with a pretty serious bout of colon cancer. Was diagnosed during routine colonoscopy. Very lucky that my parents, both mom and dad, started doing routine colonoscopies and found what's called a polyp. They were benign, but it's like, wait a second, that's a little too early to be finding polyps. So I started at 35 and then 40 and then 45. And for some wild reason, I don't think I have a good answer, but I decided to go in at 44 and a half. I was like, I'm going to go in. And I was like, that's not normal for the ADD brain. It's like to be organized. And I went in a little early and it's like, found a polyp, sent it off for biopsy. It's like, dude, it's cancerous. And um, they did a gastro resection where they took 8 inches of large intestine, 4 inches below the cancerous polyp, 4 inches above. And they take a cluster of lymph nodes. They go into those like, yeah, the lymph nodes have it as well. That means it's spread. So I dive into my chemo journey, and that's the brief version. Uh, and I am this year will be uh 8 years since my last chemo treatments, which I'm way past that because they kind of call it that 5 year period. It's like, okay, now we're kind of we got this in the rearview mirror now. Um, but I still do, I this is my chance to motivate everybody to get their ass to no pun intended.
Yeah.
Get your ass to the gastroenterologist and get your colonoscopy. It's a basic screen. I've never said it that way. I just cracked myself up.
It's
Oh,
not
it's like,
amazing.
okay, yeah, go get your butt there. Again, no pun intended. Get your butt there and get yourself screened, and it's easy. And if they find the polyp, they just take it out. Here's the thing: if enough time goes by, the polyp will eventually become cancerous. They'll do autopsies on people that are 80, 90, 100 years old. It's like, oh yeah, they had polyps in there. They didn't even know they had cancer. So anyway, it's a real simple process. It saved my life. I mean, if I would have waited a little longer, it might have spread enough where I wouldn't be talking to you today. So,
Wow.
um, that's the salesman in me. I'm pumping you up to get your butt in there to see your gastroenterologist, get your colonoscopy. They used to say wait till you're 50. There's a lot of things going out there in the food industry and whatnot, and it seems like to be a higher rate of people getting early colon cancer. Get tested. I think a lot of insurance companies are even bumping that down to 45 now. I started at 35 and 40. If I had it my way, everybody would be getting their first one when they're 40. But there's just a lot of screening out there that can find things early, and when you find things early or semi-early, the rate of survival just goes it's huge,
Yeah.
Yeah.
magnified. So,
Yeah.
all right, I'll get off that soapbox, the cancer soapbox. But yeah, that was my journey. Um, you see the death race bib right here. I It's a very special bib to me. I remember telling Joe during my cancer journey and chemo journey when you're like dragging your ass up the stairs just to try to get to bed, and it's brutal. There's listeners, viewers watching this, so like they've probably been going through it, and it's brutal. But I remember telling Joe, I was like, listen, that the power of doing really, really, really hard things in your life and stepping up to start lines and just challenging your mind and your body. It's like, man, it may sound a little corny, but I leaned in on those 72 hours and getting you see the little plastic skull up there. I leaned in on
Yeah.
those times. And to this day, I do hard stuff. I got to keep something hard on the calendar periodically because it reminds you that you can get through hard things. And
Yeah.
it's still a beautiful day to be alive and kicking, as Simple Minds said in that wonderful song. It's like, wait, I could fall into this pit of like life sucks right now, but it was still great. I was with my wife, my kids. I was still doing life even during that crazy hard time. So yeah, I kind of buying into the concept of accepting the roller coaster ride because that was a wild, crazy roller coaster ride.
You actually answered both of my questions in one shout there, so that was good. I was gonna say to you, did you ever find your kind of positivity dipping, which obviously you did a bit, but then you leaned into the death race, um, which I mean I know what the death race is, but I there might be a lot of viewers that don't. Do you want to just briefly tell us what the death race is, just so guys know, because it's on my
Yeah.
bucket list. It is one of the craziest things to do, but I
Yeah.
definitely want to give it a go.
Well, let me grab my skull real quick.
Yeah.
I will we always joke around the house. If the house is on fire, I'm gonna get the wife, the kids, and the dogs out of the house. And this is what's going next. The
You
skull's
have
gonna
you have to
leave
get
the
the
house
skull. You have to get the
next.
skull, definitely. Yeah.
Um, Going back to the cancer journey real quick, it was, and I know the two of you would understand what I'm talking about here, and anybody that has a core foundation of fitness in their life and that world's most powerful drug, I missed it so bad. I literally, I was on chemo. I went to Spartan World Championships. I went to World's Toughest Mudder just to dive in. I was like dragging my ass around the course, cheering on my clients, and I just needed to be connected. About a week after my last chemo treatment, during my last chemo treatment, I signed up for TMX. Anybody remember TMX by Tough Mudder? TMX was
You
this
know?
amazing fitness
No.
journey. Some of the listeners hopefully will. It kind of was the start of fitness racing. If you go back and look at the
Okay.
old 2017 and 18 TMX, great races there. But I signed up for it. I got my ass handed to me. I was a shell of myself. I just wrapped up chemo, but I needed the people in the competition. But the death race is the most unique
Yeah.
finish or not. You still get
Yeah.
so much from it. Most people don't finish it, but they benefited from everything that I will talk
Yeah.
about. Um, it's just mine was a 72-hour journey. You don't know that going in.
Yeah.
You show up at Pittsfield. We had about 300 and something people show up that year, 2013. I think only 21 of us finished. Um,
That's a
and it
good
was just a
finish rate, though.
battery of mental, but yeah, it's a battery of mental and physical conditioning
Yeah.
challenges. And Joe and team find a way to get most people to crack. And
Yeah.
um, I trained a lot going in. Simple stuff. Funny things. I would get up. I would set my alarm for 2 a.m. I would. This is gonna sound hilarious, but I knew I'd had enough friends that I'd leaned in on that had tried it, and a couple that had finished. Like you got to get into your head. This 90% of people who finish are it's because of the chin up.
Yeah.
It's things like the death race and other challenges sound really tough physically, but
Yeah.
99.9% of people stop because they quit because they let something get into their head. So
Yeah.
I threw a lot of wild, crazy stuff in me. I would set my alarm for 2 a.m. I would get into a cold bath and I would like grab a romance novel or something terrible, and I would read. I would read stuff that I didn't like. I was doing stuff that I didn't like. I would get on a treadmill and purposely watch a shitty movie, like a terrible movie, and
Yeah.
I would just like 3 or
Yeah.
4 hours like walking 2 in the morning, 15% incline. It's like this sucks, and I found a way to like, and then you're 30 minutes into that sucks. It was like, no, I got to go 4 hours. You just go and you go
Yeah.
and you go. And one of my best friends on planet Earth, Mark Jones, probably nobody better than him
Yeah.
at mastering the art of
Yeah.
pushing things aside. He just broke the Guinness World Record
Oh,
for
he's
40-pound
incredible.
ruck for 24 hours.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've been good friends for a long time. But yeah, that's kind of my death race journey. It doesn't have to be the death race. It might be a 5K for you, or a
Yeah.
DECA, or a Tyrox or something. Just sign up for something that sounds really hard in your mind, and that you're a little scared and nervous,
Yeah.
and just accept the challenge. You may not finish it, but the finish line truly, in a way, is the start line. You got your
Yeah.
ass to the start line, and you'll finish more things than you start. I mean, more things than you don't finish. Or I have a few DNFs in like Leadville. I DNF'd at Leadville, which is a crazy hard 100-mile race in Leadville, Colorado. Still kind of irks me a little bit, but we all have our DNFs. We DNF in life and business sometimes, and relationships sometimes. But you just get up and you freaking full steam ahead,
Yeah.
find your next start line.
Yeah.
That's what I genuinely love. And Tanya, you've probably, I'm sure, had people say this to you as well at many DECA races, but I love hearing about people's journeys. What brought them there, what they've been aiming for. And it's just so inspiring. Some people in the older age group categories, they've had hip replacements or knee replacements, and their aim was to get to the start line. And yeah, there's so many incredible stories across the whole fitness journey, and what people have been through, and everyone's got a story, and that's what I love. It's just so powerful, hearing what everybody does and what drove them to be there.
Yeah, I think we've been able to, one of my goals with DECA, and it came from, Spartan was all about the mud and the barbed wire and
Yeah.
super hard challenges, and I came from the world of coaching fitness, and I love coaching middle school, high school, college, professional athletes, but I found my honest, true passion came from those people that you would help turn on their light bulb moment of, oh
Yeah.
wow, that felt good, and I'm going to come back tomorrow.
Yeah.
And they realize that, wow, maybe this is the world's most powerful drug. I'm really benefiting from this. And there's so many participatory sports out there. And to the three of us, we're not scared by most of it. We've done a lot of it. But for the masses,
Yeah.
the larger percent of people in the US and probably in Europe, all the stuff that we've done is scary to them,
Yeah.
and like too scary. It could be looking into people doing the CrossFit Open or the CrossFit Games, or doing a Spartan or a Tough Mudder or a High Rocks, or a marathon, half marathon, triathlon. Lots of participatory sports were out there before DECA. I've done most and love everything that I just listed. Anybody, they're all in the business of the event business, getting people off the couch, getting people moving. I said, we're going to change the game. We're going to create
Yeah.
something that's never been created before. Could we come up with a plan, an event, a start line where the three of us that love fitness and have always had fitness in our life, or at least for a long time, we're considered fit, very fit, and our friends and family members that are very fit, could we devise a start line to where we would enjoy it, but more importantly, 99.9% of our entire community that may half of them are 100 pounds, 40, 50 kilograms overweight, unfit,
Yeah.
never had a gym membership, didn't play sports growing up, never participating in any of these participatory sports that I listed. And there's a lot more out there, by the way. Could that person cross the same finish line doing
Yeah.
the exact same thing, no deviation, that us fit people did?
Yeah.
And with maniacal focus, make it for that group. Don't design it for us.
Yeah.
Let me tell you, the 3 to 4 months in the old abandoned Kmart in Denver, it's not easy. I'm telling you, it's not easy to create a sport, a globally recognized
Yeah.
sport where there's going to be no deviation. There
Hmm.
is no heavy and light.
Yeah.
It's like, no, 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 no. You're all doing the exact same thing. And not a one of these newcomers have to be taught how to do a damn thing. It's basic movement. Like, let's go to the
Yeah.
farm and work. It's low risk of injury, low barrier of entry. We all do the same things. And if Susie's husband comes in and watches him compete and he's 100 pounds overweight, could say, I think I could do that right now. I'm just not going to be as fast as my wife, but I think I could do it. And then or I could do it on as a team member on a team. That was the daunting task. And I felt, and my good brother Jared Cogswell, who was there early on when
Yeah.
Joe there was only one other person that believed in us. That was Joe early on. It was like, we both come from the fitness space. We didn't come from with the mud and barbed wire space that I love of Spartan, or they didn't come from the big, wild, crazy, hard events space that I love. It was like, no, could we create a space where like the Ryan Kents and the Lauren Weeks would love it, but also all their friends that are 100 pounds overweight would also love it, maybe even more
Yeah.
than they do. If we can check that box, we're onto something. 5,000 events in, and I would say the larger percentage of people are in, you go to the leaderboards and you see people 30, 40, 50 minutes in Deca Strong. It's like, you guys know that's pretty damn
Yeah.
slow, but they're
Yeah.
all finished. They're getting the same medal and t-shirt that we got.
Yeah,
They go
and
to the
Yeah.
exact same leaderboard. And then 3 years from now, they're like, whoa, I used to do Deca Strong in 45 minutes and I'm at world championships now as a 61-year-old doing it in 19 minutes. What? You know what I mean? That fills my love tank and like just squeezes my heart freaking so much. And I know there's a lot of other coaches and trainers and gym owners out there that understand what I'm talking about. And they own this brand. They're the Spartan Deca CEO in their community in 15 plus countries across the world. And they host these little events every 3 to 4 months, which makes that training in between those events every 3 to 4 months have a lot more purpose to it. It's training. We're on the air bike today, or we're doing weighted
Yeah.
burpees, or getting up over this obstacle, or doing shoulder overs, but not because we want to sweat or look better in the bathing suit, because we're athletes training to get a better time the next time we test. It's
Yeah.
kindergarten simple, but I kind of just
yeah,
exposed the whole little simple plan that we had with DECA when it was first presented to Joe.
yeah, and
Yeah.
the 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 thing is, so well, we don't have in my country, for example, we don't have any affiliates, whether it's like Deca, Hyrox, whatever. Um, but I think because like a lot of people step in the gym, right? A lot of people quit, right? Like the rate of people quitting after 1, 2, 3 months, or even after six sometimes, or 1 year or whatever, is so high. And if there is something the gym gives you, like, oh, there is something going on, there's an event, there's like something you can take part, you're able to do these movements, like that's like a goal, and people stick longer to something. And then if they do some event like this, which can be strong, and they see, oh, I was able to do this, that was nice. I was able really to finish this, so probably next time I can do it better. So it's like also like this goal of motivation to keep into the fitness journey, because that's the biggest problem in the gyms. It's like to keep the people in their fitness journey, because sometimes they come, I want to lose 5 pounds, I want to lose 10, 20, whatever. Whether they reach it, sometimes they reach it and then they quit, but often they don't even reach it and they quit. So that's like the biggest problem, I think. And like for example, in my country, we didn't have that. Like we have by now, we have like some high rocks gyms, but then still there are usually no events really. Partial probably they start now, but we are really delayed to the rest of the world. But yeah, I mean, I stepped into the gym 12 years ago, so when my disease started, and the amount of people I got to meet there, even if it was later than when I teach classes, is so big, and it's so sad. And you try to keep those people in, but
Hmm.
it sometimes doesn't
Optics.
work.
Optics are, and this goes for every gym owner out there and coach and trainer. Optics are so important. I've had the wonderful opportunity to walk inside, teach classes or be inside a lot of gyms over my career. And the optics, keeping in mind that in your community, the vast majority of people that live in your community that aren't a current member of your gym, boy, they're on a mental roller coaster ride about most of them want to kind of give it a try. They know it doesn't take a rocket scientist to freaking know that I'm gonna live a better life, a better quality life and longevity if I start taking care of myself and get my ass into the gym and do some type of training. But the optics are challenging. It's like, let me give you a good example. I've coached probably 7,000 classes over the years. A lot of freaking classes. If you if you guys invited me to, if I'm over visiting you in Europe and you invite me to a class and I've never been in that class, guess who's going to be a little nervous? Even this guy. So think about the person that doesn't have fitness in their life. They're
Yeah,
crazy
Yeah.
nervous.
yeah, yeah,
When
Yeah.
you peer in there, we talk about optics being important. When they see love and compassion and hugs and high fives and all the things, and the person at the counter feels loving, and I'm like I'm welcome in. This is already your home. Just let me give you a tour. And when the members are like light up and the coaches high five them, and if the optics are always shirts off and like, and the just the class is like very very rigid, and I understand that has a place. It does have a, I'm not saying don't do that if you're successful, because there's a lot of success that comes with that. I would say, but in the majority of cases, you got to be, your whole day has to be about that person that walks in or that's thinking about, or the way, let's look at it this way. If I'm coaching a class in your gym and 30 people are there, I am like, they don't even know it, but I am talking to the members in a way, the 30 people in that class in a way where I'm educating them on how to talk about this class out in town.
Yeah.
That's your best marketing tool. I am like planting these little seeds in their brain to then go out in towns like, you got, Susie, you got to come to class with me. I'm telling you, it's so made for you. I know you didn't play sports growing up. I know you think you're overweight and unfit right now, but it's so for you. The coach, just the way he loves on us or she loves on us and makes us feel so comfortable. And there's all levels in the class. He or she designs the class in a way where we all feel
Yeah.
comfortable. And he takes, it may only be 3 seconds, but he talks to me every day, or she talks to me every day, and there's physical contact. My rule, if I'm coaching a class, it can be tough sometimes. I mean, this Saturday, I'll have a class with 100 high schoolers. I'm going to touch every one of them. Every single one of them's going to get a high five, shoulder tap, something. A few of them even get a hug because I've been working on them for 5 years. It's like, they're going to feel like it's family. So
yeah,
Yeah.
optics are important, and if you want, I think too often that first experience, if it goes bad, we just dug the hole a little deeper with that person not being able to climb out of their, like, you know, it doesn't happen in one class. It's like if you can get them a couple months in, it's like, whoa, man, I'm seeing and feeling things that I didn't know existed. I can, literally testosterone levels start to boom, and mental clarity and cognitive benefits. It's all like Kelly McGonigal. I had her on, Jared and I had her on the Spartan Up podcast. I made a post about this recently, and she calls it the hope molecules, the things that have the release in the brains and the signaling molecules that come from muscles. The only way to get them to release is contract the muscle. And these signaling molecules are released from the muscles, and all these benefits come from it. So I started, if you go back to when did Yancy first start saying we're in the business of dealing the world's most powerful drug, fitness, movement, exercise, the power of the start
Yeah.
line? It's after that Kelly McGonigal podcast. It's like, so
Yeah.
when that podcast was done, I did the ADD part of me I go into these YouTube craze, like, oh my God, I've listened to 27 YouTube videos over the last 3 hours, but it's educational. And I was like, oh my God, everything she said is true. And then you hear Peter Attia talk about it. And it's like, we got to get people to feel that. We felt it,
Yeah.
the three of us.
Yeah.
They feel it. And now all of a sudden, you realize, like, wait a second, I'm not this phenomenal coach. I'm just a good communicator. And I'm good at like pulling them in and getting them back to class. And my classes aren't even that special. I'm just doing some basic programming and it works. And why they love your class is because, not because you're the greatest programmer or structure of class. Like, they just feel good when they come to class.
Yeah.
They feel
Yeah.
good, and you're going to win in the long run. So optics are so, so important.
And I
Yeah.
think, and Tanya, you'll probably agree with me. You know, we've both me and you have competed in what, Italy, Spain. Obviously, you've come over to the UK. We've both been to the US. You know, we've done DECA in what, four or five countries, and
Yeah.
I've always been made to feel welcome at every single country I've been to. You know, like me and Tanya, we became friends through DECA. I've met lots of friends, just like you have, Tanya, through DECA, and Yancy, I'm sure you have too. And I think like that is what is brilliant about the community, is that you can just go and make friends with people all over across the world. You know, I got loads of friends in the US that every time I go, I'm like, are you going to be there? Like, I want to see you. And I think it's just incredible as well that you can, you know, like, for example, over in the US, you know, Underdog, just one that springs to mind. Here in the UK, Neil Marsh, the Purple Army. You've got all these little communities where you don't have to be an elite athlete. You know, you don't have to be
Mhm.
running a sub 30 or whatever. You can just be doing whatever your time you want, but you're part of this community and you really like, you feel part of something. And I think that's something really powerful that like DECA especially has created.
Yeah. And it's so funny because not funny, but it's so yeah. I don't know the word really, but I have done like the first thing I've ever done of competition was a 10K race. Like again, when I was a child, I had to stop early with sport, and so I've never competed. So I'm not a competitor at all, and I still struggle with. Having a competitor mindset, like I don't, I'm never going there like I need to beat this one or whatever. Like I just don't have that.
Mhm.
So no, I lost my point. Oh yeah, sorry. So I went to running races, and I was just I went there. I warmed up. I did my run, and people usually don't speak to each other. Like especially women, women are like not necessarily nice to each other in that sport because everyone wants to beat the other one and
Mhm.
everybody wants to be on that podium, and I was like a newbie, like I was not even like in their mind, like but you don't get to talk to really people there and not to know. And then the next thing I think I did was high rocks, and I have to be fair, I have been in high rocks, not to say anything bad about the brand, but just to compare the what we just say, the experience or the community. I've been there from the very beginning. So in the first season, the first one I went with some friends, so they pulled me in. So I was not totally lost, but I was also not feeling connected or find any connection. I did some more. I went always alone there, and like. But then again, it depends on the country because I think UK was just different. Like UK, apparently there was like a community, for example, in High
Yeah.
Rocks. When I went on the first event in Netherlands, it was a it was a different competition. There would be like different people. Like it was so
Hmm.
crazy. Like there was a community. And then when I started DECA, that was a completely new thing to me. I went for the first time. I went to holiday to Tenerife, and I took part in it. Like it was like a combination. I wanted to be 1 week in the sun in November, and
Hmm.
and I want to do volume training. So I did high volume running training. So I was not prepared at all for it. But I ran there, and like people, like they barely could speak English, but they came to me, they talked to me, and I was like, okay, connected, and like felt so welcoming. I've never felt in my life anywhere, not in
Yeah.
school, not in study, not in any competition. And that's the main thing. I wanted to do it again because like people just came and talked to me. Who are you? Where are you from?
Yeah.
And then I got to lose it a little bit over the last year, like in speaking 2024, because I had like my battle with my health. So I lost a lot of joy in the thing. And then when I went in 2024, and then I went last year to Italy, and I got that feeling again. Like those
Mm.
people are it's like Italy. Like I
They
think,
adopted you, didn't they? They
I,
adopted you.
yeah, I think people from Italy have just all the people I met there, on like 99%, they have like a heart like this. Like
Oh my God. I fell in
like
love with the Italians at World Championship. I've got some
yeah,
funny pictures.
yeah,
It's like they're always ready to party. A fitness
Yeah.
yeah,
party,
yeah.
let's have a beer
They're
party,
just
whatever, they're ready to party.
yeah,
Yeah.
they're just like they bring the community, like wherever they are, they bring it on, like they bring that you feel not alone,
Yeah.
and that's something you can't buy. Like you either have it or you don't. I think. And so they gave that back to me last year, and I was very grateful. So that's why I put again money in to travel again there, because they were all so lovely, and they would always ask me, are you coming, are you coming? And yeah, that was like, yeah, so I can't really explain it, but from the first Deca, I got that, and then I got it back last year in Italy. And yeah, so that's a really special thing about it. And I can't even
Yeah.
explain what the difference is or why it is different to other hybrid races, but it is just different. It feels like you're more closer to the people
Yeah.
versus the other
Yeah.
events. The other events, you meet people, you meet also sometimes the same people, but you don't feel so close to them, so connected. I can't really explain it.
I think
It's really
there's pros and cons of this, but one of the key pieces, and it goes back to our roots, is you have to genuinely, from the creation of the business and never losing it, you have to genuinely, it has to genuinely be about the larger percentage, the larger group that, yes, it's
Yeah.
important to make the elite feel like the elite, but you see these, like everybody starts to feel like an athlete. Everybody feels welcome. And of course, you
Yeah.
know, there's, I love, like, every elite that I know loves having conversations with the normal person. I see it
yes.
all the time. I see it all the time. 9 out of 10 of them are not going to be this stuck up person that, like, just don't talk to me. So now when it feels so welcoming, you're going to have the communication with the, like, when, if you're at a DECA and if Lauren is there, or Ryan is there, or Grayson is there, or Tanya is there, and I feel super comfortable talking with them. Like, that's our Serena Williams and our Tom Brady, our Messi, our Ronaldo. That's them at a DECA. That's
Yeah.
who they are. So it
Do you know,
becomes this.
I can vouch for that. I literally at the World Championships, I was fangirling everyone. I was talking to Ryan, to Grayson, and I was like, "Can I get a picture with you?" Like, and they
Yes,
were honestly, they were all so lovely. Like, they
yes.
was more than happy to chat, and they were genuinely so lovely. Like,
Yeah.
and that as a
So what?
non-elite, that makes you feel so comfortable that you can just go and chat to them.
And
Yeah. Now,
yeah,
where you have to be careful. I'm always coaching the gyms up. if you become the gym that is all like maniacal focus on the podium,
Yeah.
the top of the podium, or like train, 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 get better, get better, get better, get better, regimented, you turn off the magic with the
Yeah.
masses. Yeah, they may sit on the couch and watch the YouTube stream, but we want them to be there. So it's a balancing act, and you have to be, think about, I think what's beautiful is with something I've noticed with DECA, and you see it in other sports as well. I don't want to make it all about DECA, but in the United States, maybe it's similar in Europe. The larger, let's say we have a high school with 2,000 people or 500 people. The larger percentage of that group of people make it through middle school and high school, and they do not play sports. The vast
Yeah.
majority don't play sports. So now they wake up, they're 18, 19 years old, 23, they get through high school, college, middle school, and they're like, I've never played a single sport. That's the vast majority. That doesn't mean that the athletes were the ones that played the sports. No, they just had what I talked about with Tanya early on. They had parents that graciously pushed them that way.
Yeah.
They got it was introduced to them in a way that it was normal for them. But guess what? 60, 70, 80% graduate. They could have been that too. They
Yeah.
also had some athleticism. So when this sport like a DECA comes around and the friend talks them into coming and is like, oh my God, I'll use one of my old clients, Alex Walker, as an example. Great athlete. She didn't play sports growing up. She's one of the best OCR athletes the United States has ever seen. Been on
Yeah.
like 50 freaking podiums. Tanya, you didn't play sports growing up. You find it later in life because these opportunities that are there is like, well, guess what? You got great genetics. You were born to be. You got a great VO2 max when you train. You got great strength endurance, and like you're doing well. So it's providing this avenue. A lot of people are learning later on in life that, man, I'm a pretty damn good athlete.
Mm.
Look at me on
Yeah.
the podium, who my friend that played all the sports growing up has let themselves go. I'm now coaching them to get their butt to be my teammate at a DECA fit, mile or strong, and I'm the fit one. I'm the
Yeah.
one with my coaching hat on and inviting the friends in to compete. So it's yeah, participatory sport is a beautiful thing. We need more of it, as much of it as we can possibly get. And how cool is it that 5 years, 6, 7, 8 years ago, fitness racing we call it, High Rocks and Deadly and us and all the other things, and there's more popping up. It's like it didn't exist.
Yeah.
And we were just really, really focused, as there are some of the other brands that's like, yeah, we want 99% of our community to be able to do it. I was just on an amazing podcast with Jason Curtis, and that's like my freaking that's like my soul brother, man. We just have so much in common. We just could talk for hours, and we had our brains just kind of aligned well, and on a lot of the same missions. So it's all needed. It all fits together. You're if you live in whatever community you live in, it's not like you've got a DECA, a High Rocks, or a Deadly Dozen every weekend. No, you only get a couple of them, a
Yeah.
couple opportunities. So there's enough for all of it to go around. And fist bumps to everybody out there in the fitness in the event space. It's tough. It's challenging.
Yeah.
From the gym owner to the big events, a lot of hard work goes into it. So fist bump to everybody out there making the start line happen.
I think it's what's great as well is that there's a showcase, there's a place for everybody. So you've got the kids races, kids see mum and dad doing it, they get to have a go, all the way up to, for example, Liz from the UK. You might remember her, she's 72,
Oh yeah.
lifting the same weights as me. And I'm thinking, I hope I'm like that at 72. Like that inspires me, right? And I think that's the great thing about DECA as well, is that there's always someone to look up to. It doesn't necessarily have to be an elite person doing it in like 30 minutes. You've got me thinking, I want to be doing this when I'm in my 60s and 70s. Like there really is something for everybody to aspire to be. Again, and I think that is really powerful. From kids all the way up to 60s and
Hmm.
70s, it's just incredible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And just back to before I forget all my thoughts again. uh, you spoke too much now. No, I like to listen. Um, yeah, just speaking about elite and what you said before, like speaking to the elite people and so on. So for me, it's pretty weird. Like I have still, like in my mind, I'm not any elite or any higher than the other. Like because again of my background, I have not been anywhere at the top of a sport in my life before. So I think that's probably a thing, a problem. I don't think that way. So I'm not coming in the arena wherever and thinking I'm the elite or whatever. And so it was so weird to me that so many people came to talk like way more than last year at Worlds, and they were just like, "Oh yeah, we saw you, and congrats! Oh, that was really cool, really good. How you did this station or whatever. Have you tips and here and there?" And it was so too much for me. So then again, I drop into that. I want to answer every person and I want to have time for every person, but then I get on the other side of the ADHD, it just throws me out of whatever. So if I still have to do a race, it's like really struggle for me to find that balance again. But I really love
Hmm.
chat to all those people and I really appreciate it. And I love if I can help anyone with any tips, for sure. I would always answer. But yeah, it was so much this year. It was really overwhelming on the other side. But again, just again for listeners, like whenever you meet a person you want to talk to, just go over and talk to it. Like I have met probably one person ever in such events who wouldn't talk to me, but all the
Yeah.
others did. So you have a percentage of 99% that the
Yeah.
person is like to talk to you and like to answer your question or take a picture or whatever. So
Yeah.
yeah, just to point that out again.
The greatest
Um,
example, um, probably the most well-rounded, just like if we had as close to perfect, the podium over here for the close to perfect, well-rounded athlete that I've ever met in my entire life. And that's Lauren Weeks.
Yeah.
She is the most,
Yeah.
yeah, of course she's a badass, but she is a even bigger badass when it comes to when the race is before the race or after the race. The way she serves
Yeah.
and presents herself, it's like this aura.
Yeah.
yeah.
It's like if Mother Teresa and Princess Diana and
Yeah.
we took a combination of all the people that we think Mandela and all the people like, oh, the greatest. It's like, well, and then here, Lauren Weeks.
Yeah.
It's just if you know, you know. It's just from the time she walks in to the time she leaves. And I'm sure she has the roller coaster ride of life as well, but it just like, oh, you just like, I gotta go over there and
Yeah.
she will just give you everything she can
Yeah.
in the most beautiful way. So props to that's, you know, yeah, it's just love what she brings to our sports
Yeah.
Yeah.
from an
Yeah.
athlete perspective.
I
Yeah,
I
that's
agree.
true, and it's quite like she's coming in and she's just the person you just described, and then as soon as the start line goes off, she's that Terminator. like,
Determined.
like people used to say, she's really running like a Terminator, and I love it. It's so impressive. And then as soon as she crossed the finish line, she's again the you know
Yes.
the lovely person,
Yeah.
the like it's so like it's as soon as it starts, she's like on it. And then
Yeah.
as soon as she's over, she's back to the normal person she is. So it's
Yep.
yeah, it's so impressive. That's true.
Yeah.
um so just a quick one, and then I think we are already long talking. So what do you think did the journey of your disease of the cancer, what did it do with you? Did it do something with you? Do you have any change on how you look at life or how you even look at probably fitness? Or is it the same as before? So do you have like any, did it change you at any kind of version, would you say?
Yes. And I, I think the best answer I could give is that I remember afterwards when I was like, okay, I felt I'm going to survive this. Um, I remember being overwhelmed with this sense of, wow, what a gift, dealing with a near-death experience, if it's a car crash or if it's a disease, and being able to look back on it and have this, where you thought you appreciated life. You thought you had a good appreciation for life, for family, maximizing your opportunity every day to be the best version of yourself, all the things, and like, no, I wasn't even close to having it figured out. I'll never be perfect, but gosh dang, I'm so happy that I got that gift.
Yeah.
And it's hard, every survivor that I talk to kind of understands exactly what I'm saying. And it's hard to say that because you don't, you want to find a way to have people feel that power and that gift without having to deal with the journey.
Yeah.
So it's just telling people like, just don't take today for granted.
Yeah.
Like literally, you're lying in bed when you wake up and you're thinking, wait a second, don't roll out of bed and let the feet hit the floor until you're truly ready to dominate the day to day. You're truly ready to freaking tackle today with passion and be the best servant leader you can be, or just be better than you were before because of that experience that you asked, about, Tanya. That's I would say that's the best answer I could give. And so it definitely made me at least a little better person. And then you'll go days without thinking about that, and then you get grounded in some ways. Like, wait a second, bonehead. Don't forget what you went through and how that you truly felt that played a massive role in making you a better person. Get your ass back on track. So I think it gave me a very like a cornerstone foundation. Like you can look over at that moment and say, remember that. And you were very blessed to have a few more years here on this beautiful rock of ours we call planet Earth and wrap up the journey. So yeah, for everybody out there, I would say take ownership of today,
Yeah.
and don't just check the box today. Don't
Yeah.
just be a box checker, because I'm guilty of that sometimes. And no, who can you? And that doesn't mean it may just be one it may be knocking on the door of your neighbor and serving them in some way, or connecting with one of your kiddos or your spouse in a way that really it's really genuine, and
Mm.
where you're really trying to be the best version of yourself to serve them. And so yeah, I just think it made me a little better at having those reminders. But
Yeah.
I'm freaking still failing forward. Yeah, I guess that's the best answer I could give you, my friend.
Yeah,
I think
yeah,
that's powerful.
yeah.
That's
That's a
powerful.
good. That's a good one. I think whatever we went through, we always have days or weeks or partial times where we forget that we went through this, and that
Mm.
we should have this look on life like you just mentioned. So it's just normal and human to forget it, and then sometimes it just comes back up when you meet another person who went through
Mm.
something, and then you remember, oh yeah, I had something like this as well.
Yep.
So
We, we
yeah.
call it we call it hitting the pause button. If I'm coaching a
Yeah.
group of 100 high schoolers right now with Coach Karen at Burley, we teach hitting the pause button. Okay, Yancy, what does that mean? No matter who you are in life, you could be the most successful CEO on planet Earth. You could be a politician, an actor, musician, just a normal person coaching class today, the nurse, the teacher, whatever you're doing in life, police, fire, all the things. You're going to be presented with hundreds of situations today. You're getting ready to walk into a situation, or you're smack dab in the center of a situation. When you've developed what I call the pause button, and maybe you smack your leg, take 2 seconds. For me, it's like take a couple seconds, and I say a quick internal prayer. I 5 seconds pray about the moment. It's like I need to. What do I need to do to handle this situation? Be the best version of myself in that situation, to serve, not be selfish, to serve the moment, serve the group, serve the moment. It could be what I'm doing in the next 10 seconds, 10 minutes, or 10 hours, or 10 freaking days. It's a what am I doing to. So imagine if just that's some people could call it something else. I call it the pause button. Imagine if the whole world, starting today, before they walked into every Zoom call, Google Meets call, actual meeting, I'm getting ready to talk to the group. I'm getting ready to be talked to. I'm getting ready to serve a situation, deal with the situation. Crazy intense in some cases, or just mellow, or everything in between. Imagine if every single person hit the pause button there and did a quick 5 second, whatever their prayer is like, or just talking to themselves and then proceeded forward.
Mm.
Imagine the change that we can
Yeah.
make. Most of us, most situations, it's just reaction, go,
Yeah.
Mm.
react, react, react. And, I
Yeah.
know, and yeah, there's maybe certain situations that's you don't have time, but 99.9% of the time, you have the ability to hit that pause button. Walk. It's like, wait a second, this is going to be I mean, I have to fire. Let's say you got to fire somebody, or walk into a really brutal situation. It's tough, and the heart rate comes up a little bit. I get a little nervous,
Mhm.
but like if you'll talk to yourself internally real quick, it's like I promise you, it's going to go better. I promise
Mm.
you. You may have to tell somebody something pretty harsh, but you can do it in a way where it maintains they still feel good about themselves. They leave, they weren't demeaned or hammered
Mm.
on, or that person gave you that respect and hit their own pause button before they came in to your meeting, or hammered on you. And they're like,
Yeah.
that's a, that's a, I mean, if you say, what could we do to bring more peace to the world? It's like, I'm telling you right now, that'd be a damn good start.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so
I agree.
that came from, that's not something that Yancey dreamt up. I mean, anything that little nuggets that I pass. There's like somebody taught me. I went to a Brian Kane talk. Brian Kane's a phenomenal mental conditioning coach that coaches like UFC fighters, golfers, baseball players, sports where the mental conditioning is so wild. He called it the pause button and flush to green. You know, if we're walking into a tough situation, a lot of times we go to the yellow zone or the red zone and we're all fired up. It's like, no. In most cases, you can flush back down to green. You know, somebody cuts you off in traffic or somebody raises their voice to you. It's like, well, you can get pissed off and angry. You can hit the pause button, flush to green, and handle it in a way like maybe Mother Teresa would handle it. You know, it's like we can all be a little version of Mother Teresa. We can, a little more,
Yeah.
and so yeah, bring our Mother Teresa to the equation, and life might be a little better. So I
Yeah.
tried to do that. I fail miserably sometimes, but at least I try.
Yeah,
That's
that's
so
true.
true. Yeah. That's
Yeah.
so true, actually. Yeah. I could definitely do that. I could definitely do that a lot more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But again, it reminded me so much on my back in the day when I was on the office. Like that was like, people come in, they are in there like, and then you leave in a bad mood too because
Yeah.
people are just so stressed and mean and they're shouting and yeah. So looking
Yeah.
on that kind of version, but yeah, it's hard. It's hard to say like, okay, I just let it go past. It is also hard. Like it's something you have to train a little bit, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah, you
yeah,
still have to, some things have to be addressed,
yeah,
and it's pretty serious what you have to address.
Yeah.
But I
Yeah.
always firmly, and I say it this way,
Yeah. Yeah.
unless you're breaking into my house to harm my family, everything else is like, okay, I'm not going to be
yeah,
calm in that situation. But everything else, I can, even if I got to address something really aggressive, that's a bad situation, I can still try to maintain a level of respect for the person that I'm
Yeah.
communicating with. So,
So,
yeah.
yeah. So true.
I'll tell you what, I've enjoyed being on with two people that have had so much, have supported DECA so much over the years. You're two of our biggest supporters, and I
Oh,
appreciate you
yeah.
so much.
Well, yeah,
thank
I
you.
mean, we appreciate you. I think, yeah, I think you've seen us here, there, and everywhere. But yeah, I think it's safe to say that we both love Decca, don't we, Tanya?
Yeah,
We
yeah,
are big
definitely.
fans.
Yeah,
Big
yeah.
fans.
And
Yeah.
again, back to what we said like probably half an hour ago. Like I came first time in my life to USA World Championships 24, and it's like Kirsty said, like usually when you go somewhere, no matter it's a World Championships or whatever, you usually don't get to meet the owner at all. You don't get to
Yeah.
talk to the owner or parts of the owner or whatever. So I think that still makes a lot of difference about also the community feeling because it's
Yeah.
not like there's a boss somewhere there. We've never met this guy, so but he just gets the money from the brand. You know, like there's a lot of other races, not necessarily only hybrid, but a lot of other races too. So like it's like more like everybody is available. So same with Dave. Like, I
Yeah.
mean, you can text Dave whenever, he will always answer. And you know, you just, I think for looking on Dakar, like I can't talk about the Spartan race because I've never been a part of it. So I can just talk about Dakar. And I think like 3, 4 people somehow in this world crossed their ways and that was just a match and those people created this thing. And so yeah, that's just, yeah, it's just
Yeah.
special. It's very special. It's
Well, real,
nothing you
Yeah.
can find around the corner, I think.
I greatly
Yeah.
appreciate that, and giving credit where credit is due. I'm lucky to be able to be in a position where I get to put a much larger percentage of my focus on and time on serving our community. Like that's kind of my role, and um and what comes with that, you know. Okay, yeah, let's say Yancey's the showman. Um, there's somebody that believed in at first, Joe believing in the idea, and then the team grows with people that's like, okay, this thing is gonna, we're not gonna keep growing unless we get this person on, that person on. So all the people like, okay, I'm having a crazy exciting Yancey the Texas tornado conversation with you. At that same moment, people are keeping the lights on. You know, people are
Yeah.
balancing the budget, um, doing this to make sure registration's going well and timing is going well and the volunteer program is going well, and oh, all the things. And the event director is dealing with 17 issues that the competitors didn't even know were going on, while I'm flying around giving great energy, loving on people. It's like they're all it all has to be in place for it
Yeah.
to happen. So yeah, I get to be the one that goes on freaking 50 podcasts a year. So I just want to make sure that everybody knows that there's so many people. So if you see any of our staff members,
Yeah.
you could, it could be somebody. Let me think of a great. It could be Tyler, our event director. Freaking Tyler,
Yeah.
can I get a picture with you, dude? Or Emily, can I get a picture with you? Or Grant, running the affiliate program, or our affiliate relations
Yeah.
managers, and Fran and Robin running social and all the stuff. They're just like, I always, when I'm at an event, I look around at all the people, even the people that are not there. It's like I don't get to do what I do if they're not
Mm.
saying yes to to what they do. And it's a team. It's a team. Nothing is successful in life if you want to. I always tell people, and I'm coaching, mentoring people, if you don't like dealing with people, your only option, start your own business and don't hire a damn soul, because that's your
Yeah.
only freaking option. We got to work together, you know, to create greatness.
Yeah.
Yeah, Elon Musk is the one going on all the podcasts, but trust me, there's thousands of people making sure those rockets get to space, or we're boring holes through the earth, or making electric cars, or all the successful people in life. They're just the one with the microphone right now.
Yeah.
And they
Yeah.
had a great
Yeah.
idea. But after that, shit ton of help needs to be in place to make it all happen. So shout out to all the people that aren't going on the podcast and shouting it from the rooftops. They're the true freaking rock stars.
Yeah, and I think that's like really
Yeah.
just a
I
great
mean,
point. Sorry, that's a great
yeah.
point. Like nobody ever makes it alone. Like someone can have the
Yeah.
idea, but you can, like, no matter in what version it is, like you always need people believe in you and stand behind you and help you and support you to create the thing you have in your mind to do.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the, and I mean, I know what I'm talking about because I'm sitting here alone, and it's very hard to make it alone if you don't
Yeah.
find the right person to create the thing. Because I had like several ideas, but if you have not a person next to you who or like at least one person who is supporting, then it's very hard, and you're very likely to fail, because it's very hard to just do big things
Yeah.
on alone.
I
Let's
spent an
just say.
hour
Yeah,
on
definitely.
the
Yeah.
I spent an hour on a call today with Brian Duncanson. Most people don't even know who Brian is. Joined the team like within the first month, integral role. And we were on the phone for an hour talking about the run of show for the 2026 World Championships. I mean, like, dude, he's pitching ideas to me. I was like, Brian, that's phenomenal idea. Oh my gosh. And it's like most people don't even know Brian. He's behind the scenes, like planning and scheming and balancing the budget for the North American events and all the things. And it's like there's a lot of champions behind the scene making things work. I'm sorry I cut you off. What
Yeah,
were you going to say?
definitely. No, I was going to say there was just agree with what you've said. You've got some great people. I mean, we've had Robin on the show. We've had Lou from Titan Six on as well. And again, I think people might have heard the names or not necessarily, known who they were. But yeah, like you've just got some, over here in the UK, in the States, in Spain, everywhere. There's just great people, really just doing great things and making these events just amazing.
Yeah.
There's so many unsung heroes. Like there's a lady in Spain called Gloria. The amount of times she's changed tickets for us, Tanya. If something's gone wrong or travel's
Yeah.
gone wrong or injuries.
She,
Like there's so many unsung heroes.
she's our angel in Spain.
She
She's like,
is. She
yeah,
is. Yeah.
whenever something is going wrong or you need something to change, and yeah, she's and always like, you will never see her in a bad mood,
Yeah.
never. Like she's
But
always great, always.
but it's amazing how I know me and you, Tanya, have traveled to decas around the world, but you remember these people because of
Yeah.
how they made you feel, even if something went wrong. Like you said, Yancy, is how someone reacts to it. So
Yeah.
Gloria, a million things could be going wrong in Spain, she's still
Yeah.
smiling, she's
Yeah.
still changing your tickets for you, she's still
Yeah.
helping you, and
Mm.
it's those things you remember as well that add to the experience, that something can go wrong, but that person made you still feel great.
Yeah,
And
and I can tell she has like a lot of things to do.
yeah,
Like
yeah,
I would not be the person for it. Like I would be so stressed, I would freak out. So
yeah,
she's really like dealing with it as good as it is even
yeah,
possible on her. For like, yeah,
Well,
she
I
like,
can't wait to
yeah,
send Gloria a message.
yeah. Honestly, she is an unsung hero. She's
yeah,
incredible.
Well,
She
yeah,
is incredible.
I'm gonna send Angel a message first. And it's like, you make sure you listen to this podcast when it releases. And I want
Yeah,
to, because of the amazing feedback that Gloria got from the
yeah,
team, the podcast
yeah,
team.
yeah.
I
yeah.
was just talking
Honestly,
with
yeah.
Angel,
Like
talking with
even
Angel about some fun things for this year.
Ah,
okay.
cool. Okay, we'll
Like
have to keep an eye out.
like even for me, when I arrive at Spain at an event, I'm always nervous for every event. And it will never be different, I guess. I'm always nervous. Will it go all right? How do I feel? And so on. So I'm nervous already. And she's always on the registration. And when
Yeah,
I see her, like it makes me feel already calm down, like a
yeah,
little bit
Yeah.
better, like just a little bit less lost, like because again
Yeah.
I usually travel alone to the events, so it makes me feel less lost, less alone, and yeah,
Hmm.
so yeah,
yeah,
definitely we need her forever.
yeah.
Love it.
Yeah,
Love it. Love
so
it.
yeah, a little resume about what we talked. We talked a lot. um, so the takeaways I would say to again resume for listeners is, if you have any type of disease in your family, so that you have like a high probability to get it, like Yancy say, get your ass in the doctor's office. I think that's a
We
good
gotta,
takeaway. That's a good
we gotta make sure
takeaway.
we're sitting on some pure gold here.
Yeah,
If the two of you need to have like a 15-second clip
yeah,
of this podcast, and I will collaborate on that because that's going to be too funny. Too
yeah.
funny.
Yeah.
Tanya's the edit lady, so Tanya, you need to edit that as the clip for
Okay.
this
Get,
podcast.
We will get all the gastroenterologists out
Yeah,
there, the gyne we'll get them freaking on board with what we're doing. It may
yeah.
we'll turn it into a global commercial.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah, now I've got the takeaways. No. No, the other one is if you go through a disease, it's important that you have support from your family, I think, and that you have a goal after. Like it can be a fitness
Yeah.
goal, it can be another thing. But I think the more I speak to people who had like serious diseases, it's always coming to the same thing. And
Mm.
even if you face dark moments, if you have something, I want to do that if I'm done with this. This like one goal, one date, whatever. It can be a marriage, it can be a travel, it can be a fitness race. I think that's an important thing to keep you going through. Um, Now I forgot my third thing. What else? What do you
Pressing. I really liked the takeaway about just pressing pause.
Oh
So
yeah,
just stopping,
Buzz
press
button.
yeah,
pause. Yeah.
yeah,
Have a think, and then act. I really like that.
yeah. And you can never make it alone. You always
Yeah.
need people beside you. You like no matter who you see from a big brand or company, there are like way more people behind than you think, and they are often more important than the person on the screen. Like not to take you down, Yancy,
Yeah,
but you
I
get
get
what
it.
I mean. You get what I mean, right? Like we
Yeah.
always
Hmm.
see like one person out there, and sometimes we forget about how many people are in the background. We don't even see and we don't even hear their names, who are working. Like for example, on an event, like all the people who put the stuff out there, like who put all
Yeah.
like the equipment in there, measure the course, all those people
Yeah.
taking the stuff up and down, and there are like so many people helping out for just to help and
Hmm.
to just push it forward.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I saw a Taylor Swift thing. Um, she's the voice. She's the front girl.
yeah,
But she gave like these massive bonuses to all of her people. And you see that a lot with good leaders. She's a
yeah,
leader. You see that a lot with good leaders, good CEOs, good general managers. It's like you're the front man, you're the front woman. And
Yeah.
sometimes the woman, the voice gets the most spotlight, but there's always there's a lot of people that need to be
Yeah.
loved on because
Yeah.
for what they're doing.
yeah, true.
Yeah.
Um, One last question. Will we have any other countries in Europe with an DECA event? Can you say that? That
Well, I
was
know
not that was not known before that I would ask this question.
Is
I'm
that a
really
hint for
excited about
Luxembourg?
our I'm really excited about our progression and growth in the UK
Yeah.
with three or more large scale deca fits.
Yeah.
Manchester, Birmingham, and London.
Yeah.
I believe. I know I think we have our affiliate programs growing in Switzerland, and just looked at our total numbers. I think you're going to see, there's one in Germany now, five or six in Ireland. You're going to see the growth and this, and that's credit to our European team, and Emily spearheading the growth over there, and it's awesome. And Grant, um, you're, we see, we've had our first Decafit in Mexico.
Yeah.
China is just
Yeah.
their
China.
Oh,
events are just
I,
beautiful.
I,
Yeah.
It's
yeah,
and I there's everything you've seen in the United States is under like a really tight budget for the past 5 6 years.
mhm.
We got hit hard. But I love seeing the China events because you can see with just a little more glitter,
Yeah.
glitz
I
and
was
glam. It's
so
like
jealous.
it's the same.
Yeah.
It's the same event. It's
Yeah,
the same zones, the same distance and everything. But it's like it does feel good. And it's the little bit that. So I love that. Australia and Italy
Yeah.
had their growth in 25, and we've always going back to 2020. There's always been steady growth, and I think you're going to see some nice steady growth in 26. I'm really excited for more four-person teams. I really enjoyed seeing the growth of how fast Ruck sold out for world champs. I want everybody, I want all the listeners to pay attention to my little uh, Deca Fire competition. I want you to get your butt in your backyard, your living room, wherever you can go. And I want you joining my Deca Fire Challenge. It's the lowest barrier of entry. It's the gateway drug to all things Deca. So join me on that. I expect to see you two doing it at least once a week or something. Tag me up on social media. But yeah, there's going to be some nice growth in 2026. And I'm excited about it. And I know and from an ego perspective, it's hard for me sometimes, but I'm in a really good place with it now, from a health place. There's things happening now that I don't even. It's like I'll find out something that happened yesterday in the Deca world. I was like, I didn't even know that was going on. I'm like, that's a good thing. That's awesome because that used to not be the case. So I'm taking a deep breath, and I get to do a little more of what I love to do. Just talking about it and bringing
Yeah.
the energy because we got so many good people. So yeah, I'm really excited. The ultimate goal is 3,000 affiliates worldwide, hosting over 10,000 events a year, 50 plus countries doing DecaFit events, and just that globally recognized sport for all levels. In 10 years from now, people looking back, it's like, man, they helped change the game. And look at the millions of people that are fit now that were not on that fitness journey. So that's one of our key goals. So yeah.
The growth is really cool actually, and what's really cool is that obviously in the UK in Manchester we're going to have the an ultra, and I got so many messages of people telling me I've signed up. And I was like, it was really heartwarming that people just wanted to tell me, because obviously, when I came over and I did one with you guys and stuff, and the same with Ruck, I get messages and people will be like, I've signed up to a Ruck, and it's so like amazing that people are
Hmm.
getting this opportunity now and they just want to tell you. And yeah, like it really like warms my heart when people just message me to say I've signed up, and they're really excited, and the growth of Ruck is cool, and everyone getting their ultras cool. So yeah, it is awesome. Like the growth is awesome, and I'm glad that lots of people in the UK now are gonna get to do the ultra and get to experience that. And yeah, it's
Yeah,
cool.
Listen again.
I've asked all last year, like all 2025. I've asked in Italy. I asked everywhere. Can't you do an ultra, please? I want to do this. I want to do this challenge because I've never done something that long. So I really wanted to do it. And then people were, yeah, we're too small. It's not working. And now I'm
Mhm.
happy that I can at least travel to UK and get the first one done.
Yeah. Listen, thank you both again so much for having me on. I think we were about 20 minutes in. I was like, wait a second, I'm talking to two of our biggest supporters all time on their podcast. This is really cool. People that know so much about our brand and have helped support the brand over the years. So thank you both so
Oh,
much.
thank you for
Thank
coming
you.
on.
Thank
It's
you
Absolutely.
great.
so much.
Yeah, it's so
Yeah.
great to chat with you. And yeah, your
Sure.
energy and passion is just awesome.
Yeah,
Much
it
love.
was a really, really great chat. Thanks a lot for your time.
Yes.
You got it.
Bye.
Thank
Bye
you.
bye.
Bye.
Yeah. Thanks for listening to this episode. We hope you enjoyed it. And if you have any people in mind we should take on as a guest or any other topics we haven't yet take on, just reach out to us via Instagram at BeYourOwnMotivation or via email. This is team.beyourOwnMotivation